Uh-oh, your wipers still aren't working. Don't worry, I'm going to talk you through the fix. It only takes a couple minutes. First things first, go ahead and remove your wipers. Now these pry off, but take your time, be careful. I used a block of wood so I didn't damage the glass. Next, there's 8 Phillips screws that hold the cowl cover to the cab. Go ahead and remove those and slide the cover towards you or towards the front of the vehicle and it comes right out. The next step is to remove the linkage. Now I'm not showing you that here, but chances are because yours is broken and your wipers aren't working, that this thing is laying down in there somehow. You might need to pry some of this out, but go ahead, take it out of the vehicle, set it on a workbench. I'm showing you here what it's going to look like when you put it back in so you have an idea for how everything is oriented. But this should be up underneath the cowl. It needs to come out and you're going to replace all these little bushings, which I'll show you in a second. I would highly recommend marking it somehow. I wrote driver on this one and my Sharpie ran out. And then I said which side is towards the wiper motor because it does matter which orientation these gets pressed in. Buy 2 packs of these, and I know you'll ask, here is the part number for these. These were like $4 or so from, I think, AutoZone. You can do the whole thing. This is your best friend right here. This is a 5/8 socket. This works out great because it helps you hold it in place and press it without damaging anything. The first one I didn't use a socket and I kind of like buggered up the end. So I would use a socket so it has something to go into. And then on the other side in your vise, use like a washer so you don't bugger up the other side with your vise. So the reason your wiper has failed is because these little plastic bushings get brittle over time and break and the linkages just fall off. Luckily, all you have to do is put these in a vise or use pliers and press the new bushings back in and it can be good as new. Get your white lithium grease. This whole assembly was in good shape. If yours is really rusty, I would take it over to like a wire wheel and clean up the male portion. Now, get yourself some grease and go to town. Hit pause, whatever you need to do to see how this thing goes together. The orientation of all the clips to help you out on your vehicle. We're gonna go and slide it in the vehicle inside the truck and then try and use some pliers to clip everything into place. I will say I used a vise for that one, so now I'm a little nervous that these are gonna be more difficult because obviously you can't use a vise inside your truck. Okay, you can fish it in. We've got this one lined up roughly where it needs to be, and we've got to get the other one over there, which you can't see. It's down in there. So this will be the fun part of trying to do this with pliers. Squeeze. Perfect world, you'd have smooth jaws there so you didn't damage the plastic, but we got one on. One more to go. Okay, another pro tip. Here's what you want to do. Go ahead and get everything but this far one over here hooked up. And then, before you do that one, get your pliers, get it started, move it that way. And then from that side of the truck, grab your pliers, you can pop it on. We're all hooked up. I put a little lithium grease right there. Let's turn the key on, see if they work. Okay, key on, wipers on. I hear the motor. Check that out, how cool is that? That's how it works. That spins, that goes both back and forth. Both wipers are working. Put it back together. Okay, putting it back together, not that difficult. I will say go ahead and grab yourself a vacuum and get any kind of junk that fell into the cowl out of there so you don't rust anything out. Put the cowl back on, put the screws back in, put your wipers back on, and then you want to go ahead and test everything. You'll see me here in a second after I tighten everything back up. I did go with my hand and just make sure that the wipers were fully seated. So you could use like a hammer, but I think your hand is probably fine. Just give it a good smack. Make sure everything is good and tight, as they say in German. And then go ahead, hop inside your truck, turn the wipers on, make sure both speeds work, make sure they start and stop. Hopefully you didn't orient them funny, because if you install them in the wrong position, when they come to the resting position, they'll be too high. But I'm going to trust you guys can figure this out. Hey, look, it's working. Awesome. So if you like this and you want to learn more about how to fix your old car or truck, check out my channel. I got tons more stuff. This was a super quick video. Usually I go into a bit more detail. Sometimes you just need a quick 5-minute how-to of how to fix things, and hopefully this had helped.